Hello everyone, I am Savvy Hopkinson, the National SEN Officer. In this session, we will focus on inclusivity as it relates to identity, and inclusivity as it relates to differentiation. Inclusive education ensures accessibility for all students and helps to prevent inequalities and exclusion. Under inclusivity as it relates to identity, there are 7 principles. Recognition of multiple Guyanese identities. We know that multiple cultural Guyanese identity permeates every school environment. Identities in terms of language, culture, social class, socio-economic background, and even the climate of the school. The second principle, experiences and perspectives of all Guyanese are part of students' success planning. Experiences vary across geographical areas. Therefore, these are incorporated into the curriculum to enrich the teaching learning processes. The third principle, education about indigenous people. Given their special status as the original inhabitants of Guyana, the indigenous peoples are represented and they are visible in the curriculum. The fourth principle, connections between Guyanese communities and formal curriculum. Classroom teachers, with their experiences, are able to build connections between the formal curriculum and the knowledge and experiences of local Guyanese communities in whichever geographical area schools are located. And we know that in every area, the experiences and activities are unique and they enrich the curriculum. The fifth principle, home languages and cultures are welcome. While the language of instruction is English, languages such as Arawak, Spanish, Portuguese are also a part of the curriculum to cater for those differences, those unique needs of communication, and those enrich the curriculum also. The sixth principle, teachers support and defend students' diverse identities. Teachers are aware of how to respond to students within their classrooms, students in the school environment, responding to issues such as bullyism or racism, knowing the appropriate strategies to use so that students can avoid being discriminated. And when such problems or issues arise in the classroom, using those coping mechanisms or strategies that will help other students to be able to know how to treat with others and to make those who may feel affected comfortable and belonging to the classroom environment or to the school environment. The seventh principle, problem-solving teams respond to exclusion. We know the importance of the home, school, community in children's education. So The home, school, and community and partners in education must be involved so that they can develop and plan for when there are problems, so that we can have problem solving taking place and planning for students on how to improve their education, despite the many challenges that they may encounter. In developing approaches to differentiation, the curriculum, the pedagogies within, we must consider students and their unique differences. Differences in terms of abilities, differences in terms of cultural background, social class, socio-economic status, geographical location, and also special education needs and disabilities. How we treat with these and how we engage children will make the difference in terms of addressing what is needed, because the curriculum is supposed to address whatever needs exist within the classrooms, so that each child can be supported to achieve their full potential. The second segment of inclusivity deals with differentiation. A good quality curriculum enables and encourages learning differentiation. Differentiation is an approach. It's a process of tailoring lessons to meet the unique needs, interests, and strengths of individual students. Under inclusivity with differentiation, there are 4 principles. The first principle is differentiation of learning resources and assessment. Each student has unique qualities and varied abilities, which are respected in all learning situations. Diverse, responsive, and varied instructional strategies will allow all students to successfully engage with the curriculum. As you heard in a previous segment, a presentation on the learner profile. With the learner profile, which is a valuable resource in the classroom, the teacher would have captured data to know the needs of students, to know their strengths, and to incorporate that into providing lessons that will address those areas identified. The second principle is proactively adapt instruction. Differentiated learning, resources, and assessment are central parts of the curriculum. Teachers adapt instructions in terms of content, what the teachers will teach or what students are expected to learn, the process, how students would be engaged to grasp the concepts or to master the content, and the process, differentiating the process, that shows how students will represent their learning. The third principle, students represent learning in multiple ways. Students will have opportunities within the curriculum to represent their learning in different ways. Remember, students have their own unique needs, their learning styles, the way in which they engage with materials and instruction. And so they're able to, with the provisions made by their teachers, they'll be able to represent their learning in unique ways that match the way in which they learn or how they engage with the materials. The fourth principle, each student's unique and varied abilities and interests. Teachers understand, and they're provided with information within the curriculum on how they can adapt instruction and how they can make accommodations in terms of breaking things down into its component parts if we have students who need additional support. And this support can be in terms of resources, as some students would require assistive technologies. And we know that in every classroom in Guyana, we have students who learn differently. We may have students with disabilities. And so this kind of support, resource, adaptation, using scaffolding, simplifying things would be needed to make accommodations so that learning can be more meaningful for every individual student in the classroom.